Hey, Glory, Jessica from Peterson SEO. Thank you so much for speaking with me today and allowing me to send this video. Despite that you guys currently have a marketing company, I totally get that. And that's wonderful. I'd like to hear that. That means that you guys are dedicated to not just sustaining your business, but growing your business. Um, and so I think this video is going to be really, really important. And I want to address some of my concerns as well. I don't know what type of marketing you guys are doing, if it's more traditional like billboards, or if this company you're working with is supposed to be doing digital marketing. But I do have a lot of concerns, and I will show you why in just a moment. So, when it comes to online, when a person is looking for your services, they're going to start with Google. Most people won't know the name of your business, so they're not going to search by brand. They're searching by the service they need, especially in an emergency. So they're going to be either using questions or terms like water damage restoration in Boise. Okay. And your business's responsibility is to be where your customers are looking. So on the first page of Google for your main services and keywords, there's three spots on Google that a business can own, meaning being at the top of. And the first is your Google ads. Um, that is your cost per click ads and even local service ads. And about a 10% of people actually click on those ads. The second section here is your Google business profile, the map pack. Your goal is to be in the top 3 of the map pack for each of your services in your service area. Um, Now, if you're not in the top 3, there are several factors that go into ranking to get into the top 3, one of which is citations. A citation is simply listing the name of your business, address, phone number, and website, and listing those on a bunch of directories like Yellow Pages, Yext, Glassdoor, etc. And you need a lot more of those than your competition. In addition to just optimizing your profile, doing the Q&As, adding images, having more images than your competition, etc. It's a very fluid spot that's continually changing. So you cannot just set it and forget it. Your GBP has to be managed monthly. And then the most important spot is your the organic section here. Nearly 60 to 70% of people come straight here and skip everything else. So you need not just your homepage, but all your services when people search those terms for you guys to be found here on the first page. But in order to do that, a website has to be built and optimized correctly. So going back to your website, I know you said you have a marketing company, but where I'm concerned is I don't know if you guys are doing ads or what you guys are doing with them, but if they were doing SEO, they're not. And so your website is a single page website, which will never work. Um, a single page is for an ad landing page, not for a website. So, if I go to services, it just drops me down the page and it's just listing what you do. That is not going to help you get indexed. It's not going to help you rank. And your customers are not going to find you based on the services and based on keywords. You have to have a separate website page for every single one of these services. At least all the major services. You have to build written content around the keywords for those services. And you need 150 words of written content for every keyword you're going to target. You're going to focus on local keywords rather than national keywords. And keywords usually have multiple variations. You want to be able to capitalize on that. So you have to have separate pages for each, all different original content. Your home page is one of the most important pages, and so this page needs a lot of content, and it should summarize, have summaries of what you do, but usually at least 1,500 words. of content here, making sure you have the right repetition of keywords. I've also noticed the images aren't saved with keywords either. So this website is missing the boat on a lot of things, not to mention the latest changes with AI and algorithm changes. And so all your content needs to be written not only around those keywords to get those indexed, but they have to be personable. It has to be relatable. It has to answer questions. It needs to be conversational, not just informational. And so it's going to be really, really important that you guys have this website built out correctly, have the proper pages, have the proper content and keyword strategy, so that when people are searching for each of these services, that you guys show up. It is going to drive a ton of sales for you guys. And in addition, if you're servicing outside of Boise, anywhere else, you need service area pages with these service pages attached. So you need those pages to be found in each of those communities for these services as well. And then support your website with the SEO. SEO will not work unless this is done first. This is your on-site SEO. And so this is critical this be done. This works with your Google business profile. They work hand in hand together. So it's really, really, really important. And that's why I am concerned when you say that you guys are working with a marketing agency, because they're missing the boat on everything that comes with the digital marketing aspect. So now let's look at your competition. So, oh, sorry, I'm at the bottom here. This is Apex Restoration. Okay website, not fantastic. But they are number one for water damage in Boise. They do have separate pages for each of their services. They have service area pages that I mentioned. Forgot to turn those off. You also notice that they have the calls to action right at the top of their website. They have click to call and they have forms. You need those on every single page of your website at the top of your website. It's going to help with conversions a lot. And then you have to have more content, more pages than what your competitors are doing. These guys don't have nearly enough content and focus. So these guys shouldn't be terribly difficult to beat, but you do have to have that content and keyword strategy in place. And you do need those separate service area pages like they have. Now, this is a program called Ahrefs. It's a paid tool. It tells us how your website is doing. You can see here you have a 0.3 out of 100 in Google's trust flow, which means Google does not trust your website. And that's because your website doesn't have any content, so there's nothing to trust, and there's no power behind it. So again, depending on what type of marketing they're doing, if they're supposed to be doing SEO, they're not. They're not sending any links. They're not getting referring domains. They haven't done what needs to be done on your website. So I am concerned. But anyways, so a website doesn't have power without backlinks or referring domains, but not all backlinks are created equal. This is a popularity contest. They have to be relevant to your business. Anything else is more spammy and it's going to hurt your score. So you do get credit of one backlink per referring domain. A referring domain is just any website that provides your website with a link from their site to your site. And the backlink is just that physical link. Okay. If you think of this like trying to fire up your favorite power tool, your tools do not work without power, right? Well, it's the same with your website. So you're going to take and you're going to plug your power tool into a power source. That's the referring domain. And then the power source sends power through the cord up to the device to turn it on to give it power. And that is essentially the same thing here with your website. Because there's really no content on your website, you've only been indexed for 15 keywords, and you're only getting maybe 6 people on your on your website per month. So you guys are missing the boat and missing tons of customers, leaving money on the table by not having your website optimized, not having that digital presence. And when we look at your keywords, the only keywords that you are ranking for are your brand. And unfortunately, as important as brand is, that's not what your customers are searching for. So you really have to focus on these money making keywords here and get these ranking. If you look at your competitor, they also have a poor score. They got spammy backlinks, but they have more pages, they have more content, so they've been indexed for more keywords, and they're getting over 220 people to their website every single month. So if you employ these strategies that I've shown you today, you guys do have the potential to dominate in your area for each of your services. But you gotta work on those strategies. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and we'd be happy to answer them. You can reply to my email, send it, give us a call, or send a text. We'll be happy to chat. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.